Okay, so some of you might have heard some benefits to some products that are already out there, and Borax is one of them. There's lengthy audios and videos that I found on YouTube, and I will put some of them down in the description box. I did some of the homework for some of you who are looking for maybe some answers to some problems, and I have it here listed. If you're looking for a natural holistic RX, you're looking at different health conditions like skin psoriasis, eczema, prostate gland cancer, thyroid, BP, inflammation, and I'm going to go through that list. These are some of the things that have been actually literally help relieve a lot of the symptoms, even altogether remove some of the products that are in your, well, just environment altogether. Some of it's hidden into some of your shampoos to weed killer. And we've been talking about topics about how to remove some of these items or these things that are in your food. We've told you back in a couple, I think it was about over a month ago, how to remove some of these things from your household, like the things obviously that are really causing and aggravating your condition. But borax has so many benefits that really it's one of those things that gets overlooked, like Vaseline. I find this really fascinating how you can literally use borax in your water and how it can remove all the I guess some people call it free radicals, but we'll just be specific. Bromine and fluoride, two very difficult things that a lot of people don't, or, well, it's maybe more misunderstood. Why even just trace amounts over a period of time, what it does, and just the pineal gland. You need that for spirituality and just overall alertness and awareness. That will help clear the fog. And some of these recipes and directions, you're going to have to do a little more homework because I couldn't do all this. I just wanted to do that much to get the ball rolling. For some people, one of the benefits to using borax for somebody who has prostate issues, this is one I think is really worth looking into. I'll put some more added information. They are pretty lengthy. The one that I'll put at the very top is about prostate, and that was at the 20-minute mark. This guy, he's talking for over an hour. Over hour and 20 minutes. I kind of just like my eyes glaze over after 5 minutes. I don't have an attention span like I used to. So I'm not going to make this real long and lengthy. For those of you who know somebody that might have Parkinson's disease, I've seen some more added benefits to using borax, osteoporosis. This seems to be crippling a lot of our elderly, and just even in small doses, just to change the water. Listen, I'm going to be the first one to tell you, I've changed my shower head. Ask anybody that knows me. I mean, I've flipped a lot of things, and it's really, really hard when you move around and you don't have the right fitting just to put a shower head. So right now, this is like the answer for me. Just, I cannot and I don't feel comfortable bathing in just straight tap water, and I have to dilute it. Because there's so many chemicals in the water that I've actually have more skin problems. My skin dries out. Some people complain about city water, but I will say this. When it seems like when you bathe in the water for somebody that maybe have some skin disorders, I know this is not natural. Okay, for some people it may be herpes. And you'll notice just for some people, when you have a skin disorder, eczema, things that I think a lot of people who've had to learn to live with this was really hard for some people because you get discouraged. After a while, you've tried everything, and suddenly they announce there's a cure for all this. That doesn't sound like reality, but for me, I was pretty bullheaded, and I really needed to try something. In fact, I got really stubborn because I realized there's so much I have to deal with, and I was spending way more money than I can afford. I don't have the money to keep up with that, but borax actually has a really quick fix for those people that want to reverse the hypothyroid, the Hashimoto's disease, people exposed to radiation. Some cancers are actually, there's definitely, I'm not sure about the cure actually, but I definitely see that there's a lot of advantages about using borax. And let me see, on and on and on. I even heard that knee injuries, people who have had like bone rub up against bone, and I know a lot of people like this, that you're going to be getting this link. I'm just going to put the link information below because I can't go through all this. You're going to have to pick and choose what it is you need to pick from, but I will put some of the things at the very top regarding prostate at the 20-minute mark. The reason I did a little more homework the last couple weeks is because I realized that I cannot afford to do the things I used to do. I know I didn't have the money before, but I definitely don't have it now. And it gets expensive when you think about the vitamins that people have to take. I don't want to take from the vitamin D3. If you really do your homework, you just can't buy the stuff off the shelf. You have to really do your research, because the way some of the microbiologists, the way they mix up the vitamin D3, you have to get it in the right concentration. And I really recommend Dr. Ted Brewer. I did speak to him last Friday about borax. He was really elated. He's a microbiologist. He's one that studies a lot of the genetic disorders. And just doing more homework and research. I've done several posts like this, but we've talked about like how you got to remove some of the things. Like you got to really know that these heavy metals like aluminum, just cooking in this, learning to change just the way you cook. One of the things I noticed, and this is just a fascinating thing about cookware, I would really look to cooking on copper. Really, Teflon is a bad idea, okay? I kind of get nervous when I have to use anything with Teflon because of the chemicals that come through the food. Same with microwaving food. I mean, as old school as this sounds, I really never caught on to the microwave thing. I just noticed the taste of the food is different. I mean, really, the reason we're doing a lot more research, because we know that really just the way you cook on your food, so whatever I just mentioned here, I want to lay out some things for some people to consider. Now, I wish I had the money to manufacture these items, but if you can remove aluminum from your cookware and you could start changing things over to cooking on stone, they have special cookware and glassware and also copper. These are things you really need to change just the way what you cook your food in, because it's always safer to bake in glass. You've known this. Stay away from aluminum foil. As much as this is hard for me, there's a lot of heavy metals, and because it cooks into your food, and because there's such a problem with autism, there's so many things I could go on, but let me just start with the cookware. And you could go through your cabinet and you say, you got to start putting some of this stuff aside. If you really ever have to use it, then, and it's canned goods, just go ahead and leave it in the, basement if you need it. Some people can't part without their canned goods. I know all of us we could definitely remove some canned goods out of our diet. There's just so many chemicals in this food, and because of the way they process it and preservatives, you really, honestly, if you're going to keep food, just go and get the store-bought food from Thrive products. At least that way it'll keep better, and if you need it, it's just the idea that anybody has to resort to canned goods. I'm actually so not interested in hearing anything about canned goods. Fresh food, of course, recommend just, if you're not comfortable with what's in the grocery aisle, and make your own food. That's really what it comes down to. There's so many things sprayed onto our food. That's kind of why people are getting sicker, and that's why we're using the borax as an example. And basically, just by reversing some of these basic things, we've gotten so conditioned to doing things like this, we don't really think anything of it. And they wonder why, well, maybe this might have something to do with the increase of cancer. And we could support the evidence with information, but I'm not going to do that. There are going to be a lot of people that disprove this information. Here's the point to this, because I'm going to get into some other things that I think are relevant before this tape runs out. Okay. The increase of psoriasis and skin disorders, allergies, food allergies. It's proven over and over again. I hate the fact that this stuff works sometimes, because I think that makes me realize how many things we were, lied to, and there are natural remedies, and there are things that I would go to a doctor about, and it's not, no question. I think a lot of times nowadays doctors are afraid because mostly they subscribe to the pharmaceutical companies. We were raised that there was a lot of benefits to a lot of the herbs and things in the garden that can actually have real medicinal benefits, like even just putting cucumbers and lemons in your water. I mean, what a difference that can do and detox. But for people who have already health conditions, chronic illness, the borax is the detox. This is the part of the process of healing that body from within. So there'll be more information below for those of you who want to look into it. Thank you.